This video is on line plots. A line plot is a type of graph that can help you see the frequency of data within a series of data. For example, here I have a set of data points. I have 9 data points listed. Now in this case, the data points don't have meaning to them, but most of the time it's going to be a scenario where you've measured certain objects, whether the length of them, the weight of them, it could be the height of them, it could be ages of different people, but there's going to be a measurement taken, and then you'll have a series of data. So I've written some data here just to use as generic examples, and we're going to create a line plot from this. Now when I say the frequency, what I'm referring to is the number of times you see a particular number, or in this case fraction, in the set of data. So for example, we have the 1/2. 1/2 is listed 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So the frequency of the 1/2 in the data would be 4. So before we can create our line plot, we really do need to organize our data and group the like terms together. So as I mentioned, the 1/2 was written 4 times. That's its frequency. We also have a 1/4. And the 1/4 I can see in here 1, 2, 3 times. And then I also have 3/4. And 3/4 was listed twice. Now I had initially mentioned that I had 9 pieces of data. I want to check that my 4 plus 3 plus 2 does equal 9. I always want to make sure that my number of data points stay continuous as I work. Now that I've organized my data, I can create my line plot. Now a line plot starts with exactly what its name is, a line. This line at the bottom would typically include a label to tell you what the particular measurement was. For example, if you were measuring in inches, in pounds, in years, we would label that over here. Now we need to create our line plot using increments, even equal increments or intervals. Well, in this case, I only had 3 numbers in my data, and I need to arrange them from least to greatest. So I had 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4. And we have even increments of there being 1/4 in between each of my numbers. Now we're going to add to the line plot the frequency of each of these numbers. Well, we had seen 1/4 listed 3 times in our set of data. So I'm going to put 3 X's above my 1/4, telling me that the 1/4 was written 3 times in my data. The 1/2 was written 4 times, so I'm going to use 4 X's. And the 3/4 was written twice. Now sometimes rather than X's, you could use really any type of symbol, just as long as you're able to quantify the frequency for the number written below the line. Now, looking at the line plot, it gives us an opportunity to analyze the data in a more organized fashion. For example, if I were to ask you how many data points I'd have, at this point, you could count the X's. 3 plus 4 plus 2 is 9, a little faster than counting through each of the data points. You might also be asked to find what would be the total numbers of all of the data points for 1/4. For example, if this was in inches, I might ask you, what is the total length of all of the objects that were 1/4 of an inch? Well, you would know I have 3 objects that were 1/4 of an inch. So I could take 1/4 times 3, and I could get 3/4 as my total. So it just gives you a better way to organize your data and be able to then reference the data easily and analyze it thoroughly.